Hello everybody. Hello. So just me today, and we're gonna be trying something a little bit different with how this is gonna work. So I put up something on Twitter, and basically we're gonna be doing something where um, I'm going to be doing all of my video recording and all of our video recording for the channel live, and everything will be done live on stream, and everything with you guys in the chat, and it'll just kind of be like a conversation for the most part. So it should be fun. So Thomas is not here. See you in the chat. Chat should be coming up here. Let's try this. We're trying new things. But yeah, it's just gonna be a conversation here. Just gonna hang out, chat about awards, chat about film. Should be fun. My voice changed. I think it's just a different microphone. I've been bouncing back and forth between different microphones over the last couple days because they've been kind of broken at points and kind of not. But yeah. So what we're gonna be doing today, I want to look through some of the like brutally honest Oscar ballots, and just kind of scroll through those because those are always kind of weird, kind of fun. And then I'll be going through my own voting, and be voting as if I was an Oscar voter, and then we'll chat about some films. Have I seen the non ballots? I don't know what you're talking about. Zone is getting some #1 votes. I did see that. Are you fighting with Thomas? No, it is currently like 1 a.m. Where Thomas is. Grabbing new Criterions during the flash sale. No, I thought about it, but I also need to be saving money for college, and I didn't really want to dump $120 into Agnes Varda box set. And no, we're not splitting up. So yeah, your friend gave a higher rating to Argyle than Poor Things. Well, that's certainly a choice. Anonymous, what you were talking... Oh, makes sense. Anon. Okay, got there in the end. But yeah, okay. Let's take a look at some of these. Yeah, anonymous. Best time of the year. People overreacting for anonymous ballots, and people end up predicting Cruz for the win. Yeah. I know Sam did that. It's so. I mean, in the end, like let's be completely honest. Like anonymous Oscar ballots are just like stupid. They don't really mean that much. They aren't going to tell us anything too much different than from what we already know. So I wouldn't read too much into them. But you know, they're fun to look at, I suppose. Also, let me know if I cut in and out, or if that may be happening. But yeah, cool. Let's take a look at some of these anonymous Oscar ballots. So that's something that we're going to look at later. But okay, so let's take a look at this from THR. Because there are some choices made in here. There are some choices made in this ballot. So starts out here. Best Picture. They would prefer to see Spider-Verse as a nominee over Maestro. I mean, I would have been fine with that. I'm not like the biggest the biggest Maestro, supporter, obviously. Spider-Verse wouldn't be in my personal list, but I mean, would have been fine with it. American Fiction holdovers were enjoyable, old-fashioned, meaning not edgy in terms of their stories and filmmaking. When I first heard about Barbie, I couldn't even imagine that it would be here, and then after seeing it, I couldn't imagine that it wouldn't, and that's because Greta Gerwig nailed it. Killers of the Flower Moon has a lot of great stuff, but no movie needs to be 3 hours and 25 minutes. Okay, but I don't understand why people have the constant need to, like movies can be long. Like, movies can just be very long, and that is okay. I don't understand why we're constantly trying to make films shorter. Like in my mind, ideal length for a film, like 90 minutes or 3 hours, and nothing in between. I think that is like perfect. But I mean, I don't know. Like if the film needs the length, why are we trying to take away the length? It really doesn't make any sense at all. But yeah, a lot of people had to watch it at home, and then like me, a lot of people didn't make it to the end. That's why, why, why? If anybody other than Martin Scorsese, a studio would have said, "You've got to cut it. We don't need a landscape for 2.5 minutes." I don't know what people are on about. I don't know what people are on about. Like, I love movies like this that tell you a human story. Um, but yeah, if something's going on underneath, you really don't need an antagonist other than time and space. Poor Things is some of Yorgos Lanthimos' best work. Whole cast is phenomenal. Couldn't wait to see it again. Anatomy of Fall grew on me over time. The monologue where Sandra tears her husband apart is just incredible. Agreed. And then yeah, again, even a movie is super long, like Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon are fast-paced movies. Like they are fast. I don't understand why. Like just because a movie is long does not mean that it is slow. And I don't. Just people's attention span is crazy right now, and I know like my generation is a big part of that, but it's just I don't know, like we can spend a little bit of time with some art, like I think that's allowed. But okay, so they're choosing between Oppenheimer and Zone of Interest. Oppenheimer's movie that advanced cinema, the new invention of film stock, IMAX, everything with that. The sort of cinematic experience that you live for if you love movies. Makes me sad that one day I'm going to die because I won't be able to see movies like this. Okay. But no movie made me feel like Zone of Interest. Okay. We got to the correct point, even if there were some weird things along the way. It wasn't trying to tell you the Holocaust is bad. It's trying to show you how little it matters to the people who are doing it. Yeah, good. A lot of reviews people didn't get it. Okay, calling out the critic from New York Times. Okay. Well, they got to the right point in the end, which is Zone of Interest. But some fascinating takes along the way. Some genuinely fascinating takes along the way. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Best Director, easy one. Christopher Nolan has deserved to win this award since The Dark Knight, and he's really deserves to win it for this one. Most monumental achievement in his career. Kudos to Oppenheimer team. Okay, so yeah, it's just everybody's going for Nolan. I think this is as expected. This picture ranking is really interesting. I do think that we are going to see some number one votes for Zone of Interest, but like. I mean, it's not going to matter. People are going to look at these and start to overact. I already saw some articles from like IndieWire or something that was like, oh my god, could Zone of Interest, get up to like Best Picture? Could that no, it just isn't. It's going to be Oppenheimer. To change the subject from Running Time, what did everybody think of Dream Scenario? I like Dream Scenario. Nobody watched it, but it's a fun movie. I think Ari Aster produced it. Really fun film. Nicolas Cage is good. Probably deserved a bit more love, but like I understand why it was fairly underseen. It wasn't like there was nothing about it that's like this big monumental achievement per se. Best Actor, Bradley Cooper is really good. Jeffrey Wright was phenomenal. Paul Giamatti and Cillian Murphy were great, and one of them is going to win by voice of Coleman Domingo as an actor, and I loved his performance in Rustin. Fired Rustin is really fascinated me, so I wanted to throw him some love. I mean, fair enough. Like, if you want. But, I mean, yeah. Kind of throwing the vote away, but, yeah, I think Cillian's just obviously winning at this point. I mean, fair enough if you want to throw Coleman some love. Emma was phenomenal. I mean, the bravery and the balls to take, to put yourself out there in the way that she did. Lily, there's such a quiet power to her performance, and was going to vote for Lily, but then I moved my mouse over at the last minute. I decided to vote for Sandra. Nice. I mean, it's obviously between those three. Any of those three would be a good winner. I'm going for Lily at this point as far as predictions. But it's going to be between Lily and Emma, and it's going to be really, really tight. I just think there's enough to point it to Lily at this point. But I mean, yeah, Sandra would be fantastic, even though it's not happening. This person was torn between Ruffalo and Robert Downey Jr. And even though it's cheesy, I'll be with you. I met Downey at an award season party. We had an interaction that I did not initiate, and it tipped the scales for my campaigning matters. I mean, this is what's going to be happening, I think, a lot with Robert Downey Jr. and why he sweeped so hard. Is just because Robert Downey Jr. is charming. And it is honestly as simple as that. Like, RDJ is just a charming guy. And people are just going to go for it. Like, I don't know. I don't know. So, I guess. I really genuinely believe, though, that was a lot of why he ended up sweeping as hard as he did. The $1 million question, in your opinion, what holds more weight, SAG or BAFTA? Again, statistically, it is SAG. Statistically, it is SAG. I mean, if you look at the last couple of years, it's SAG. If you look historically, SAG is better. When SAG and BAFTA have split in the Best Actors category, 7 times out of 12, it has gone to SAG. It also, I can't remember the exact number, but it's some ridiculous stat about winning the last televised ceremony before the Oscars is huge for ending up winning the Oscar for the Best Actors category. But yeah, this is I just really think it's Lily. I just really do think it's Lily. And yeah, no, this person's just fully going out and, you know, just saying that Robert Downey Jr. was just charismatic at a party and just won his vote, which, I mean, yeah, campaigning does matter. Campaigning does matter. It does. And there's really no denying it. Supporting actress, would have liked to see Sandra Hüller here for Zone of Interest. Based, good take. Can't really argue with the ones that you got in. You can, like Jodie Foster and Emily Blunt. And honestly, American Fernding, like, this is just such a weird category. The fact that these got in, no, like, Julianne Moore, no Sandra Hüller, I don't know. But they're going for Divine Joy Randolph, emotionally captivating, subtle, can't miss it, yeah. I mean, again, I just feel like everybody's going to be voting for these two, to be honest. Adapted screenplay, Oppenheimer is probably the hardest one of these to adapt, but because I'm pretty sure Nolan's going to win Best Director, and probably Best Picture too, and because I'd like American Fiction to get some recognition, I voted for it here. Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of this, to be honest. I mean, we saw the same thing happen for Nomadland, right? Oh, you know, we don't have to go for Nomadland. That's obviously winning Picture Director, so we'll go for something else. And that is how voters think here. I think it's likely American Fiction here. Everybody's saying American Fiction, Anatomy of Fall, which is what this person has done, which would make sense statistically. That does make sense for our screenplay duo. I wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't, just because it feels a little bit too safe with, like, it's not like either of them swept. And like American Fiction like kind of did, but it also never faced Barbie. I'm not going to be predicting Barbie. I'm obviously going to be predicting American Fiction and Anatomy of a Fall. But I wouldn't be shocked if something pulled off an upset. I wouldn't be shocked. I also just watched All of Us Strangers Today. Great and beautiful film. Yeah, no, it's phenomenal. We did a review for it, and it's one of our favorite. At least one of my favorite reviews that we've recorded. It's just a great film to talk about. Do you think Holdovers has a shot? Like, yeah, kind of, to be honest. Like, I do think that could be a thing to upset. I really do. It would be the thing in original screenplay to take out Anatomy. How shocked would you be if Poor Things went 0 for 11? Not at all. That's what I'm predicting. I'm going for Barbie in costume and production design, I think. I think I'm going for that. It's just the idea of the favorite won costumes and production design at the BAFTA, and then it ended up losing at the Oscar to Critics' Choice winner, Black Panther, big blockbuster type movie. It does kind of make sense. It does kind of make sense for Barbie to take both, I think, in costumes and production design. And yeah, I think Poor Things could just 0 for 11. I mean, I think we're going to see a lot more goose eggs. We saw half of the Best Picture lineup last year. I think we're going to see a lot more goose eggs. We saw half of the Best Picture lineup last year. I think we're going to see a lot more goose eggs. We saw half of the Best Picture lineup last year. I think we're going to see a lot more goose eggs. We saw half of the Best Picture lineup last year. I think we're going to see a lot more goose eggs. We saw half of the Best Picture lineup last year. I think we're going to see a lot more goose eggs. We saw half of the Best Picture lineup last year. I think we're going to see a lot more goose eggs. We saw half of the Best Picture lineup last year. I think we're going to see a lot more goose eggs. We saw half of the Best Picture lineup last year. I think we're going to see a lot more goose eggs. We saw half of the Best Picture lineup last year. I think we're going to see a lot more goose eggs. We saw half of the Best Picture lineup last year. I think we're going to see a lot more goose eggs. We saw half of the Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think it. I think that we're gonna see a Poor Things. Poor Things goose egg. Finally was able to catch up with Perfect Days. Wish it was recognized more by the Academy. Same. It's in my top 5 of the year. It is in my top 5 of the year. Anyways, this person going for Anatomy. They think that she did it wrong, but okay. Yeah, between Past Lives and Anatomy of Fall, agreed. You wanted Saltburn in? I mean, I get my God. I forgot that Maestro got a screenplay nomination. Did that actually happen? Jesus. You swap out May December for Saltburn. Okay. Animated feature. Boy and the Heron was fine. Okay. Robot Dreams blew me away, but it's a spider across the Spider-Verse by a mile. Yeah. Oh wait, I didn't know this. Joaquin Dos Santos was denied a nomination because the Academy's rules in the category cannot be represented by two. That's stupid as hell. What? I didn't know about this. Why was he not? That's weird. That's weird and annoying and stupid. I didn't know that that was a thing. That's such a stupid rule. Why does the Academy why do they have random rules like that? It's so dumb. It's so dumb that they. I don't know. I don't know. Just stupid random rules. But anyways, they're going for Spider-Verse. It's gonna be really tight for me between that and Boy and the Heron. I don't know. Documentary. There's a lot of sad movies nominated this year. Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, 20 Days in Mariupol were just too hard to get through. You didn't watch any of them? You didn't watch any of them? Okay. Well, Bobby Wine was also upsetting, but it was a little easier to watch. Watching it, I was like, they can't do that to him. Okay, so they went for Bobby Wine. I guess. Just couldn't get through any of them? Okay. But yeah, I this probably just Mariupol. Probably just Mariupol. Watched all of them. Really enjoyed Teacher's Lounge, but there's no contest. Yeah, Zone of Interest. I think most people are going to be going for this. I think it's going to be quite obvious. Cinematography, no question. Hoyt van Hoytema, Oppenheimer. Yup, makes sense. Costume design. Oppenheimer was just everyone wearing suits. Barbie was kind of what you'd expect. Poor Things. It's Napoleon for me for sure. It's just more memorable. I mean, yeah. Here's the thing. I do think that I do feel really good about predicting Barbie for costume design. I think Poor Things in production design is where we could see a potential split happen, and that go to Poor Things. But I don't know. As I said, I am leaning Barbie. I am leaning Barbie for both. That is true. The SAG Ensemble rules are also pretty bad. SAG Ensemble rules are also pretty bad. Trevor, will you still make videos about film and awards when you go to college? I love your channel. I'd be devastated if you don't. Okay. One, you shouldn't be that attached to me because I will stop at some point and you shouldn't be devastated. But two, I will probably still be doing stuff all throughout college. That is the plan. But don't get too attached. Don't get too attached. Have you seen To Kill a Tiger? That is like one of the two. I haven't seen that, and I haven't seen Io Capitano, and those are the two Oscar nominees left that I haven't seen. But I'm really excited to. I'm really excited to. This is crazy to me. Maestro getting nominated for Best Cinematography over Zone of Interest. Crazy. Don't I don't understand. Editing. Most Academy voters don't know how to judge film editing. Okay, so and you're assuming that you do. So they reward the most obvious film editing, even though the best editing is often seamless. Okay, good take. I do agree with this. I think every one of these nominees is worthy, even Killers of the Flower Moon. I get why can't a movie be 4 hours? Why? Dumbass. Anyways, you went for Oppenheimer because of how well it integrated a bunch of different elements, like literal atomic spirals that are in camera. Nolan didn't make it easy. Yeah, I mean, no, Oppenheimer is just a feat of just. I don't understand how you would even approach an editing timeline like that. Like it's ridiculous. Yeah. Io Capitano is on some totally legal websites. Okay, I'll get to it. Yeah, I'm excited to see both of them. To Kill a Tiger, you found on a VPN, easily my favorite doc in the category now. Nice. Okay, I'll definitely get around to those. Let's see, makeup and hairstyling. I'm surprised Oppenheimer got in here. I'm not sure that what was so great about the makeup of Society of the Snow either. Golden Maestro did a good job making the actors look like the people, but Poor Things, I mean, they should win an award off of Willem Dafoe's face alone. Holy shit. I mean, here's the thing. Maestro's probably winning this category a la Vice, right? It doesn't need the lead. But I mean, there's a world where Poor Things take this. Maestro's been really struggling to win with precursors. It hasn't won a single one of the bigger ones, to my knowledge. So I could see a Poor Things. I could see a Poor Things upset here. I could. Short attention spans, the same people grossed out over sex scenes. Yeah, I'm working on a video about why people get so grossed out over sex scenes, because it's really weird. It's really weird. I don't understand why people are. Yeah. Do I plan to be a filmmaker? Yes, I do, and I have made 2 films, and you can watch them. They're of varying quality, but they're on this channel. You recently did a presentation in filmmaking class for a film we should study. I did Zone of Interest, and in the class we picked mainly mainstream movies, as well as my teacher. Loved it. Nice. Good, 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 good. I just actually, I recommended Zone of Interest to a professor recently, and they liked it quite a bit. Because yeah, it's such a good movie. Such a good movie. Get the word out about Zone of Interest. Just phenomenal, phenomenal film. They won't do Poor Things. They don't like sci-fi movies in that category. And makeup. Yeah, again, that's why I'm probably leaning Maestro. Just I think the lack of precursors is a bit concerning. Makeup and hair won the prosthetic award, so that'd probably be the Gaylor. Yeah, and that's the thing. Even though it won't be as convincing as Vice when that won, which I do think is the most apt comparison, since it probably isn't winning a lead acting award to go with its big makeup transformation. I do think it'll edge out. I do think it'll edge out. Let's see here. Original score, Oppenheimer's Ludwig Göransson at its finest. I mean, fair enough. Original song, I like the Killer song, even though I don't know how to pronounce it. Like to see Diane Warren finally get her due. Do you really? Do you really? But it's not gonna be for the fire inside. I'm just gonna, it was fun. But it's Binius. I've never heard. Is that a thing? Do people call them Binius? Is that real? Okay. I guess. If you want. When you think about the marriage of song, the story, I can think of a few recent winners that did it so well. And separate from the movie, it's still a good song on its own. Yeah, no, I think this makes sense. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of this sentiment. Yeah, no, makes sense, makes sense, makes sense. Poor Things won ADG in the same category as Barbie. Yeah, that's why I do think that if Poor Things were to take one tech, it would be production design over Barbie. Imagine your reviews resurface when you become a big filmmaker. Probably not going to be a big filmmaker, to be honest. But maybe. Let's see. Oh, I feel like I froze. Maybe. And we might be back. Production design. I thought that the design of Napoleon was fantastic, but the design of Barbie was unlike anything we've ever seen before. I mean, Barbie Land with all the houses was pretty incredible. That's interesting. So they've done Barbie production design and Poor Things in costume design. So kind of a swap of what we've been kind of expecting if there were to be a split. Interesting. Let's see. Sound. Oppenheimer is going to win, but the sound design of Zone of Interest was engineered in a very unusual way and impacted you the way you experienced the story. Yeah, and here's the thing. I do think that Zone of Interest is going to get passed in sound. I really do think that Zone's going to get passed in sound. I could see it being an upset. I really could see an upset. I don't know if I'm quite there for predicting it, but I might. I might predict it. We'll see where I go. Reminiscing over the time when these led me to believe that Penelope Cruz was the front runner, I was so happy for those few days. Yeah, and you convinced some other people to do it too, right? Like, again, we shouldn't take these seriously. I'm not leaning towards Zone in sound because of this. I was already kind of feeling it, but it does give me some a bit of what is it called? Reinforcement bias. It's some sort of thing like that. Everybody's happy that Sam is here. But yeah. No, I could see that I don't know. I could see some. I could see some. VFX, I thought for a lot of the season that I'd vote for the creator. I really liked the movie and its VFX, but once I caught up with Godzilla Minus One and realized how much they did with how little money they had, I had to vote for it. I do think it's between those two movies. I don't see Napoleon being a thing. I know people are saying, oh, the production design. Oh, the production design nomination. Voters aren't thinking like that. They aren't like, oh, this got production design, so thus that it isn't like a correlative thing. I think it's more just the movies that happen to have good VFX also happen to have good production design usually, and I don't think that that's the case this year. It's between the creator and Godzilla. I'm pretty split at this point. I haven't really made up my mind, but yeah, we'll see. I got like one thing wrong that year because I predicted Penelope literally could have been number one on Gold every second made. Yeah, VFX is a confusing category. We will, I think, Friday, Thomas and I are going to do our final prediction stream, which should be fun. So make sure that you're there for that, because we'll lock in all of our predictions in these categories. Animated short, wasn't crazy about most of the ones nominated. Our uniform was really good. Really like the story music from The War Is Over. Going for that. Okay, I know I just talked about how these don't mean anything. The shorts is where we could kind of look at these. The shorts is where we could kind of look at these because they can. The shorts are just weird. I'm going to be watching them this weekend, and I'll talk about them at some point when I watch all of them. I'm going to go to this theater, see all of them, see where I'm at with them. But we'll see. Documentary shorts, ABC's Book Burning. The point is great, but come on, it's a glorified slideshow. That is what I've heard. I saw a bunch of people on Letterboxd saying it's just a slideshow. My vote is cute. Really enjoyed the Barber of Little Rock, but I voted for The Last Repair Shop. I love it. It's about helping the kids in a way that they couldn't help themselves, to allow them to pursue the arts, and Chris Bowers deserves it. I do think it's between those two, based off of what I've heard. ABC's Book Burning and Last Repair Shop. Live action short. I don't think that Wes Anderson, director of Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, belongs in this category. And I'd say the same thing about Pedro Almodovar if he'd been nominated, and he keeps trying. It's a category that's intended for new filmmakers, and the nomination can provide them with opportunities that they'd never get without the spotlight. So it's selfish for these big filmmakers to be taking spots for them. To be fair, I don't like. It's not like they're choosing to. I don't think it was Wes's decision to like campaign super hard. But you know, who knows? But I don't think that that's necessarily the case. I just think he made a short film, and then it, you know, got enough people behind it. And if there's a filmmaker, now if a new filmmaker can convince a famous actor to produce or be in their short, like David Oyelowo, more power to them. That was beautiful done. They're going for the after. The after has been picking up awards. But yeah, I think it's probably based off what I've heard. I'm seeing a lot of hate for the after in chat. And I think if anything other than Wes Anderson's film wins, it would be the after, just based off of what I've heard. But I think it is probably just Wes Anderson. I feel like, you know, if he's in the category, there's going to be enough people that are going to go for Wes. I just think that's the case. And I don't know. I'd be happy for Wes. I'm a big Wes Anderson fan. I think it makes sense. I'd be really happy. God, people really hate the after. Who am I saying for best actor? Cillian. I just think it's pretty easy, to be honest. But yeah, so that was that brutally honest Oscar ballot. We can scroll through a couple of other ones that don't have as much, you know, wordiness to them, and just see if there's any interesting things here. This person went for Oppenheimer. Jeffrey Wright, Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone, Daniel Brooks. Interesting. They went for Maestro in cinematography. Oh my God, what are you doing? Let's see. Poor Things costume design. They went for To Kill a Tiger. Wow. Yo Capitan. Okay. Here they went War Is Over, Night of Fortune, and they've not. Oh, animated. Wait. Where's documentary short? Oh, ABC's Book Burning. Okay, interesting. Past Lives for Screenplay. Love to see it. Creator VFX. Okay. Another Zone of Interest #1 vote. Nice. Carrie Carrie Mulligan and America Ferrera in acting categories. Okay. That's a choice. What'd Sam say? Read one of these earlier, not by choice. People are incessant when posting them on Twitter and saw that a voter chose Annette Bening because of that. I switched my prediction to her. Honestly, same. Honestly, same. Oh my god, they did put past lives at 10. Okay. Let's see. They abstained from Doc Short. Anything else interesting here? Another Poor Things makeup. Okay. And made short pachyderm. Sound, another Zone of Interest. Another Godzilla. Okay, based screenplay choices. Kind of makes up for the actress ones. Cool. The clip of Sandra Huller's fight with her husband is the scene of the year. Correct. Another Coleman vote. Another Zone #1 vote. God, people are gonna... There's some of you are gonna be talked into voting, or talked into predicting Zone of Interest for Best Picture. One of you is gonna do it. One of you is gonna read all of these ballots and go for Zone. But yeah, okay, Sandra Huller, nice. Anything else weird or interesting here? Another What Was I Made For? Another Zone of Interest in Godzilla. I mean, listen, you can't say that I was talked into it, but I was already feeling it. But again, this is confirmation bias. That's what I was looking for before. This is just confirmation bias off of me predicting potential snubs. Killers is way too damn long. You're dumb. I wish Charlene's song was nominated for directing. You're correct. Anatomy of Fall #1 vote. Cool. Killers and Oppenheimer though. Wow. Paul Giamatti, Robert Downey Jr., Sandra Hüller, Divine Joy Randolph. Abstained from animated. Okay. Cool. Oh, Justine Dre vote. That's cool. Barbie and costumes. Poor Things cinematography. Editing and anatomy. Okay, this person. Good choices for the most part. Past Lives and Barbie as screenplay winners. That'd be fun. If this based on the Gills, then it's so fun. Then it's so obvious he's winning Best Picture. It's not even funny. I mean, yeah, no. Oppenheimer's obviously going to win Best Picture. Colin Trevor, you said in your Maestro review that it would be worthy as a cinematography winner. Well, that was me a couple months ago. Now I disagree with that. It's really breathtaking to see the love for Zone. Like, actually, it's just awesome. It doesn't mean shit, but still. I mean, no, absolutely. Like, it's great that Zone of Interest is actually getting this much love. Like, it's so cool. It's so cool. Like, that's never the type of film that's going to be like winning Best Picture just because of how kind of experimental it is. But it's so cool that it's getting love. I thought Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon were masterpieces. I always love Alexander Payne movies, and Paul deserves to win for what he did. And Oppenheimer #1 vote. Giamatti, Downey, Lily, let's go. Divine, you're the one person who voted for Elemental, I guess. Okay. More power to you. Killers and costumes, interesting choice. Maestro and makeup, score Killers. Okay, wow, lots of love for Killers. Cool, like that. Okay. Sure. Yeah. And then Oppenheimer and Holdovers. Okay, I think that's enough of those. Elemental, yeah. I want Aya DeVere to get an Oscar so bad. Me too. Would be such a cool winner. I don't know for what, but someday she's going to make something that is deserving of an Oscar, and I really want her to win for it. Okay, I think that's enough of those. I think that's enough of those. Again, they don't really mean that much. I'm sure there will be a bunch more over the next couple days. Like, the interesting categories are actress. I'm leaning Lily, but, you know. I think that VFX is kind of interesting. I think that sound is kind of interesting. I think costumes and production design could be kind of interesting. And then, I mean, again, screenplay, both categories should feel obvious. I would be shocked if we get an upset, but they should just be obvious. And animated, I guess, is also kind of interesting. Not with Elemental, but I do think that Boy and the Heron and Spider-Verse will be pretty close. Bro legit just watched that one orchestra scene and called it a day. I mean, honestly, that's probably what they did. Take out Elemental for Turtles, and you got a great animated lineup. Yeah, I mean, I didn't love Turtles, but I definitely preferred it. Yeah, Meister for Sound is wild. Absolutely wild. Don't know what they've done with that, but sure. Okay, cool. So take a look at those. Now, Vanity Fair did a thing that's like you can vote for the Oscars. Well, not actually. You can't actually vote for the Oscars, but it's like your own personal ballot, and you can fill it out, and then you can see what percentage of people agree with you. So, I'm just gonna fill out my own ballot, and then you guys can yell at me when you disagree with my opinion. So, here it is. I already filled in the first one, which is Best Picture. The Zone of Interest. I mean, and let's be completely honest here, this is like one of the best Picture lineups that we've had in a while. This lineup is incredible. But, I mean, if I gotta go for one, it's The Zone of Interest. Anatomy, Past Lives would both be pretty close. But yeah, it's just Zone. Killers would be up there as well. I'll probably do a ranking, like a YouTube short or something. But yeah, no, it's just Zone. It's just Zone. Doom Part 2 would have gave Oppenheimer more serious competition in everything if it stayed in November. We can actually talk about that later. I'm going to save that topic. We'll talk about Doom Part 2 later, because I saw a tweet that was kind of interesting. Lineup is legit one of the best of the century. Yeah, no, for real. I want to fill out a personal ballot. This feels like excluding Womp. Sam, you can do it too. Just because you're not on stream, like Jesus. Okay. Yeah, obviously Zone though. I mean, you know my thoughts about the film. I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's one of the best of the, century, probably. Just incredible film. So I'm sure it's not a surprise that I'm going to be voting for Jonathan Glazer, Best Director, for all the reasons I just said. I mean, what he's able to do, just a feat of direction to be able to make you feel the things that he makes you feel is one of the most visceral cinematic experiences. Like, if you boiled film just down to the marriage of sound and video, this is one of the most just astonishing pieces of film that just is, I don't know, I can't even, Jesus Christ, what just happened to the chat. But yeah, it's genuinely hard to even describe what is going on with it. We're good. Yeah, no, it's honestly hard to even talk about what the Zone of Interest does to you. We did a review for it. It's yeah, insane work. And only 4% of people agree with me. Cool. I mean, yeah, obviously everybody's probably going for Nolan here. Sam had to pop up on the video, really surprised. It just let out. He doesn't have the link, because I'm pretty sure that we can do multiple people on stream, but I haven't figured it out yet. So we'll get there when we get there. All right. Let's see. Best Actress. Okay. So again, Lily Gladstone, Sandra Hüller, Emma Stone, all fantastic. The other two, less I mean, Carey Mulligan's good. Annette Bening. But Lily Gladstone is just my favorite performance of the year, period. I'm really a sucker for just subtle performances, and I think just everything that is accomplished just through her eyes and her face, it's really, truly special. Yeah, it's got to be Lily for me. Wow! I was not expecting that at all. Wow, people are really going for Lily. That's cool as hell. Interesting. I like that. I like that people are actually... This doesn't mean anything, but that's kind of cool. Greta Lee was also a fantastic subtle performance. It's a shame that she wasn't nominated. Really deserved it. Best Actor, we got Bradley Coleman, Paul Killian, and Jeffrey Wright. For me, I mean, I liked Paul, but this has just got to be Killian. I mean, just incredible, transformation, just completely embodied that role. He didn't even need, that many prosthetics or anything, barely any at all, and he just completely disappeared into it. Again, like Lily's performance, it's quite subtle and understated, and it's all in the eyes. There's some sequences, like the one in the gym, just will haunt me, just the look on his eyes. The most watched movies will always get the most votes. Was Killers of the Flower Moon the most seen of those, though? Was it? I don't know if it was. Maybe. But yeah, I gotta go Killian. I assume that the public will agree with me here. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Supporting actress. God, this category. I don't love any of these. I mean, they aren't like bad performances. I didn't love Jodie, but like again, I don't feel like incredibly negatively towards any of these. I think they're all like fine to good, but I lean towards Divine, which I know is just a sweeper because, like, I do think that what she's doing is like, I think she embodies a lot of what makes the holdovers work. To be honest, just like the tenderness of it and how kind of inviting it is and how it feels kind of warm on the surface, but then when you look underneath, with both the character and the film, it is kind of like haunting isn't necessarily the right word. But there is a lot more depth to it than I think initially appears. So, yeah, I think I lean Divine. Let's see. Divine, yeah, Emily Blunt. Okay, I mean, fair. Did you see Paul Thomas Anderson, the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie picks? I did not. We can pull them up after this, though, and take a look. Say we won about Jamie Lee Curtis and Everything Everywhere All at Once. She's much more deserving winner than if America Ferrera wins. Well, America Ferrera is not going to win. Divine Joe Randolph. Yeah, and again, I think this kind of dispels that the most seen movies win, because if that was the case, Oppenheimer, Emily Blunt and America Ferrera would run away with this. Okay, this category I genuinely haven't really thought about that much, because I'm not in love with any of these performances. Like, none of these performances would make my personal 5, to be honest. So, I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's Okay, I don't think I'd go for De Niro. I don't think I would go for Sterling or Robert Downey Jr. It's probably between Gosling and Ruffalo. I'll go for Gosling, but like I'm not passionate. I'm not in love with any of these. I'll go Gosling. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is the overall winner. I don't know. Again, like Melton, robbed. If Melton was here, would vote for Melton. They should give her to Stephanie Hsu. They should have last year. De Niro is the only one of these that would make your personal 5. Fair. I know Thomas really, really loves De Niro's work. It wasn't, my favorite, but I mean, I can see it. But yeah, I don't know. I guess Gosling. I guess. Not passionate though. Original screenplay. Okay, Anatomy of Fall, Holdovers, Maestro, May December, Past Lives. 4 of these are really good. But for me, this comes down to Anatomy of Fall and Past Lives. I think they're both doing really different things. I think Anatomy of Fall is just so intricate with how it weaves its narrative, and it's twisty, but not in a way that really feels in your face, which I think makes it like really, really special. But Past Lives for me, I mean, it made me sob. It was the first movie of the year that I really, truly fell in love with when I saw it in May. And it's stuck with me ever since. It's still my number 2 movie of the year. I lean Past Lives. Let's see. Oh, it's tight between Anatomy and Holdovers. Wow. Oh, wow. And only 5% for May December. That's sad. Adapted screenplay: American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. Call me crazy. I go with The Zone of Interest here. I know that it's far less righty than than literally any of these other ones, and I think that these are all good screenplays. Good to great screenplays, to be honest. But I mean, I have sat down and read the Zone of Interest screenplay just because I'm really obsessed with all of these movies. We're with the Zone of Interest, and I just am obsessed with every single element of it, and just want to learn as much about it as I possibly can. And the screenplay does actually do a lot for the film, especially when you consider how it was shot, and how it was shot basically where, where the crew and Glazer, everybody left the set, and the cast was just left on set in the house. The script does actually drive a lot of that. So I know, I go the Zone of Interest here. I think it's a absolutely phenomenal screenplay, and also a brilliant adaptation to turn a book into something that feels so like it couldn't. It's a film that feels like it couldn't work in any other medium, and yet it started out as a book, which I do think is like genuinely impressive adaptation. So I go the Zone of Interest. Of course, it's the least voted for. Makes sense. Let's see. I would personally give it adapted to Poor Things, but if not, Zone of Interest. Fair. What movies do you think will get into the 2025 Oscars? I'm going to be completely honest. I haven't thought about it. We'll start looking at it and thinking about it in the week after the Oscars, and we'll do a stream where we talk about those. Let's see. International feature. I mean, do we even have to talk about it? Like, I love Perfect Days. I love Teacher's Lounge. I still haven't seen Neo Capitano, but like, it's just the Zone of Interest. I'm glad that it's by far the most voted. I mean, I'm gonna have to shut up about Zone of Interest at a certain point because like I just I can't keep talking about it. But yeah, it's just Zone. Let's see, animated feature. So this is a really good lineup. Elemental is the only one that I'm kind of negative on, but I think Nimona is very good. Boy and the Heron, Robot Dreams, Spider-Verse are all excellent. As much as I'd like to be like cool and go for Boy and the Heron and Robot Dreams, for me it is still just Spider-Verse as much as I love those other two. I do think that it is just Spider-Verse here. I mean, absolutely blown away with it. I mean, Trans Spider-Gwen, just one of my favorite, if not my favorite, superhero character ever. So yeah, it's a fairly special film to me, so I still have it here. But I mean, I'd honestly be fine in kind of rooting for Boy and the Heron to win the Oscar, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, I can go for Spider-Verse. Whoa! Was not expecting that. Wow. On like this open public vote, Boy and the Heron has more by like a 10% margin. Like that's a not, interesting. Really shocked by that. Let's see what they're saying in chat. I'm afraid they'll give Barbie a pity vote for screenplay. I mean, I don't think it'll be a pity vote, but I do think that the Greta snub thing could play into it potentially, and that's why I'm not like locked in about American Fiction. I am still leaning American Fiction, but I'm not locked in. Jeremy Johnson, did you like American Fiction? I did. I think it's one of the weaker of the Best Picture nominees. Probably second bottom for me, but I do think it's a solid film. And yeah, no, this animated this animated distribution is kind of wild. Was not expecting that at all. Doc, as mentioned, I haven't seen To Kill a Tiger yet. I will get around to it, and from what I've heard, I think I'm going to like it quite a bit. But here I go for The Eternal Memory, probably. It'd be between that and Four Daughters. I think Bobby Wine and Mariupol are just fine, to be honest. But yeah, it'd be between The Eternal Memory and Four Daughters. I lean Eternal Memory though. I saw it at Sundance. I thought it was like really devastating when I saw it. I thought it played with memory in a really interesting way. And just for me, as a filmmaker, somebody interested in film, I think memory is such a fascinating thing to explore in the medium. So yeah, I go Eternal Memory here. I'm really curious to see. Okay, yeah, everybody just voted for Mariupol. Fair enough. Let's see. I don't think the Greta snub narrative really makes sense as an argument for Barbie in screenplay. People try to use that to argue Little Women in screenplay. I think it's slightly more valid for in this case than for Little Women, just because there was like so much more of a public uproar. Like I feel like Little Women, like people are mad about Greta getting snubbed, but like Hillary Clinton wasn't tweeting about it, right? So I do think that this was a bigger kind of blow up about Greta getting snubbed. But again, all this to say, I'm still predicting American Fiction, and I still feel pretty comfortable with American Fiction. I'm just saying I don't think it's locked in. So, yeah. I don't know what we're talking about. Gives me like a panic attack every time I listen to it. It's an insane piece of music. But I'm actually going to go for Killers of the Flower Moon. It's a very vibey score that I think is like really, really fun. And I've actually listened to it quite a bit just like outside of the film. So yeah, I don't know. I'd lean Killers of the Flower Moon here, to be honest. I think it's a really, really fun score. Really good at just setting the atmosphere and tone. Not surprising that Oppenheimer's the top choice here. Original song, Fire Inside, I'm Just Ken, It Never Went Away, with Ozzy, and What Was I Made For? What did the people call before? Binius? On the anonymous ballot. Yeah, I'd lean Binius here. I think that What Was I Made For is just a really, it's a very, very well written song. And I also think it just marries very well into the film as far as like, it fits nicely into storytelling, and I always prefer songs that do that than that are just, credit songs, which to be honest, I don't know if we really have that many, like, just credit songs felt like they were written just to get Oscars this year. because like I'm Just Ken was also in it. Was Ozzy kind of in it? But yeah, I don't know. I go as I made for. I go as I made for. Yeah, very, very clearly the top one, I think. Very clearly the top one. Sorry, the Indiana Jones score is better? That's a take. That's a take. Dune 2 score next year. Yeah, I mean, probably wins. I saw Dune 2 the other day. We can talk about it. I liked it, didn't love it. I have a lot of issues with it. But, you know, we can chat about it, but yeah, I think it's probably going through a lot of text, to be honest. Poor Things easily deserves to score out of the nominees for low composed. I'm Just Ken's banger. You were on the Ken train for a while. Yeah, I was on the Ken train for a while, but I know the more I've listened to What Was I Made For, I do think it's just like really, really just beautiful song. Would I count What Was I Made For as a credit song? Not really. I mean, it's played during a pretty pivotal, like, you know, the emotional climax of the film kind of hinges a lot on that song, to be honest. So I think it makes sense as a, you know, working within the film. Cinematography, so cool that El Conte happened. But here, what do I go for? It's probably Oppenheimer. Probably Oppenheimer. I mean, obviously, there's all of like the big stuff, right? But I think also if you just think about like all of those the interior sequences, particularly like the interrogation and everything, it keeps it really, really dynamic for all those pieces, which obviously comes a bit from the editing. But you know, if you don't give the editing team, you know, interesting stuff to work with, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't work, right? So I think the fact that all of the compositions are so thoughtfully constructed and sequenced in a way that keeps the momentum moving throughout those scenes and allows the editors to just, you know, add the extra punch that really makes the film work together. So I go Oppenheimer here. I go Oppenheimer here. You think Dune will win cinematography even though Return of the King missed? I think it probably does. I mean, again, just because I've seen the film, I don't know, you know, it's only February. It's only February. I don't know what else is coming out this year, so it's kind of hard to say. But yeah, no, I'd lean there at this point. Costume design, Barbie, Killers, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. Here, for me, it's between Barbie and Poor Things pretty easily. I think that they have the most fun costumes. And I think I probably would lean towards Barbie, to be honest. Just because, I don't know, I mean, I think that there's a lot, they had a lot of source material, but I also think that bringing that source material to life in such a fun way is I don't know. I think that there's something to be said for it. So we'll go Barbie. We'll go Barbie. Makes sense. This top there. Editing. Here I go. Anatomy of a Fall. I think the Anatomy of a Fall editing has been really underappreciated, and I think that Anatomy of a Fall just doesn't work to the impactful level that it does without the editing being as strong as it is. Like just how it works from you know, with Milo's character, the blind son, and how it uses perspective and weaves in and out of those different perspectives is just astonishing as far as the construction of the film. So yeah, really, really incredible. And nobody voted for it, but of course everybody's going for Oppenheimer. Makeup and hair, Golden, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Society of the Snow. I'm gonna go for Poor Things here. I agree with the one guy going what they say, the, you know, Poor Things deserves makeup for Willem Dafoe's face alone. Holy shit. Yeah. Absolutely. Oppenheimer's fast-paced, Killers is not. I think that they're both fast-paced, but that's just me. But yeah, no. I don't know. I just don't want to give anything to Maestro, but I do think that the Poor Things makeup is like actually astonishing with his transformation. Wow, and a lot of people agree. Interesting. I think chat's covering it up. It was 52% to 25%. Quite fascinating. Production design. I mean, similarly, I think it's between Barbie and Poor Things. Here I'm gonna go for Poor Things, though. I mean, just think about some of those set pieces, like particularly like the Lisbon and Paris one stand out to me. Just crazy, that world. And like Barbie, you know, Barbie Land's obviously great, but that is one set piece. Poor Things has multiple. So I lean Poor Things. Yeah, Barbie makes sense there. I mean, do I even need to talk about it more? Incredible. Zone of interest. It's got a decent amount of the vote. Why do so many people go for Maestro? Why are so many people going for Maestro? I don't know. And then VFX, Creator, Godzilla, Guardians, Mission Impossible, Napoleon. I'll throw it to Godzilla. I'm not in love with any of these. None of these I would make my personal list. But yeah, why not Godzilla? Why not Godzilla? Really impressive work with how little they had. What? What? Excuse me? Mission Impossible is the most voted for? Okay. Sure. Sure. And then it's the shorts, which I won't vote for the shorts because I haven't seen enough of them. I haven't. It would be unfair. So yeah, but that's where I'm at as far as my personal voting Scientology. I will give you that one. On that one, maybe it is the most seen. Though to be fair, I do think that Guardians is the most seen. But that might be a case where it is the most seen for that one. So interesting, very very interesting. But no, those are my personal choices. If I was an Oscar voter, I do think it's interesting though. I know somebody brought up Dune. So I've seen Dune. I don't know if any of you in chat have actually seen Dune. I'll be doing a review for it soon. I need to stop rhyming. But no, I'll be doing a review for Dune Part 2 soon. I put up some thoughts on Twitter and Letterboxd if you want to go look at those. I liked it. I think that there is a lot to enjoy. I do think that it has a lot of issues with pacing, particularly in the third act. I think it gets way too quick and it's way too fast. And I think it would have benefited a bit from slowing down. And I think it doesn't really, give itself some room to breathe. But I'll have more thoughts on that soon. You say you gotta head out. I'll probably wrap up here as well. This was just kind of a test to see how this would work and to see how live streaming would work. But we want to do this more. We'll probably get Thomas on some of these. We'll probably get Sam on some of these coming up. We'll do a Dune 2 review. We'll do some final Oscar predictions. Plenty of fun stuff. But hopefully you like this. We're going to be doing more, plenty more streaming. But thank you, everybody, for coming in here. I appreciate it, and yeah, I think Friday is when we're looking to stream again. I think Friday, but yeah, thanks for coming in, and I will see all you guys later.